Bruce Kaminstein, member of the New York Angels and founder and former CEO of global housewares product company Casabella. Thank you for joining us on State of Freight. So let's get right to it. What will be the impact of these 100% for tariffs on the supply chain?
Dramatic. It's terrible. It was overnight. These tariffs are just an increased cost for these small, mid-sized companies that just it's not just a small increase. You're talking about a 53% increase, which is just out of control in terms of costs.
You know, it's the American shipper that is going to be paying these costs. In terms of looking at the companies and based on your own prior experiences with the last Trump tariffs, how are these companies going to pay? Are we going to also see possibly products left at the docks because they do not want to bring in these products?
For sure. I mean, with this kind of price increase, 53%, yes, products will be left in containers because retailers won't take them. It's always a giant squeeze play between the retailers, between the manufacturer, between the importer. The foreign countries just do not pay these costs. So it's burdened on the small business that has to absorb it or increase it, but it's too much to absorb. So price increases will happen for sure. And you hope that your price not out of the marketplace.
You know, President Trump is promising manufacturing will return to the United States as a result of these tariffs. Do you think these tariffs will encourage American companies to make their products here in America?
I really don't think so, at least in small, medium-sized companies. The average size houseware company, for example, is $20 million. They don't have the capital to open up a factory, or do they have know-how? They're not used to that. They're used to innovating product here, creating jobs for innovation, marketing, and creating unique product, patenting it, but not worrying about, making the product. Now we have various countries overseas to make the product. And I do not think all of a sudden manufacturing is going to come back here, especially for small, mid-sized companies. And furthermore, Lorianne, there's no companies, no factories out there that make product for other brands. That's the real point here. Like if you have a great idea, where do you go to make the product? There's no factories here in the United States making products for other brands.
You know, one of the disadvantages when it comes to these startups that you are now investing in is the volume of product in terms of how much that they can afford to produce. What is the state of manufacturing for startups in the United States?
Very little. I mean, I'm involved in a company that's making a great innovative sneaker. There's no sneaker companies here making sneakers for other brands. So they are forced to go overseas to produce innovative product. It just doesn't exist here.
You know, there are countries around the world that actually subsidize when it comes to manufacturing. Should the United States government subsidize smaller companies so it creates that level playing field so if manufacturing does come back, they can afford to place these orders?
It would be an interesting idea. It would be, subsidizing a small factory, giving a company some capital to buy equipment, which, banks don't really want to lend on. It's just also the know-how. And do we really want these factories here? A lot of questions to answer there.
You know, there are two camps about the tariffs, especially in the VC and angel community, and that is it will stifle growth and put startup companies out of business, or it's most likely noise. What is your view on how this is going to impact angel investing in the future?
All of the above, for sure. This will, for sure, you don't know where you can invest in a company. You don't know what the gross margin dollars are going to be. If they are buying a product, an innovative product from overseas, who knows what the gross margin is going to be, day to day. It's so erratic. It so quickly changes. So yeah, it will really change angel investing, at least in consumer products for sure, until it settles down and understand where you can make product stable.
Startups are all about the long game, I don't have to tell you. How has the tariffs influenced the time it takes to build a company, and how are you evaluating now future companies for possible investment?
Well, you know, looking at companies right now, I don't want to see a company made in China or made overseas, which is really sad because these are really innovative products. Just because I don't understand what the margin will be in the next 2 or 3 or long game, 6 months, who knows? So, I'm really questioning whether, it's we can invest in consumer products right now.
What's the impact of these startup companies going by the wayside as a result of these tariffs? There's a ripple effect here in terms of jobs and the economy. What can you tell us?
Very nervous about it, with a 53% price increase from China and then maybe another 50%. That's what I'm hearing. A lot of these companies will be priced out of the market. And, you know, also a lot of jobs will be gone. These companies employ people and these are good jobs. These are innovative jobs. These are, jobs in social media and marketing and all sorts of jobs. So very nervous about it. Extremely nervous. We have to shift production somewhere, and I don't know where that is at the moment.
In addition to the manufacturing, many of the startups and companies, both large and small, source their ingredients from other countries. What impacts are you seeing within the consumer brand space, and how will this impact the U.S. marketplace?
Again, it will dramatically hit the marketplace because we use components from all over. Very rarely are products just made in one place. And so, we're global. I mean, we're used to a global supply chain. When I had Casabella, we brought product in from all over the world. And we made product in the United States also. And we made product in Italy. We made product all over. So this will really influence where you make product and what the end game will be.
Bruce Kaminstein, member of New York Angels and founder and former CEO of Casabella, thank you for joining us.